Welcome to the Caregiver Relief Podcast. Our new podcast is The Right Equipment Right Now, a caregiver's guide to DME and assistive devices. And it's a brand new series we're starting. I'm your host, Diane Carbo, RN, and I'm so excited to kick off this important series alongside my co-host and our newest regular contributor, Tara Slaughter, a certified durable medical equipment specialist with over 30 years of experience in the healthcare industry. This episode is sponsored by myvitalvault.net, your all-in-one life organizer for aging adults and caregivers. It's designed to help you securely store your essential legal, medical, and emergency information in one easy-to-access place. Because when a crisis hits, being prepared can make all the difference. Join our Caregiver Relief community, a warm, welcoming space where you can connect with other caregivers, ask questions, share stories, and find support from people who truly understand. Visit community.caregiverrelief.com to join now, because caregiving is one of the hardest and most meaningful things you'll ever do, and no one should have to do it alone. And if this episode speaks to you, please take a moment to like, share, or comment. Every click helps us reach more caregivers who need encouragement, resources, and hope. This series is all about simplifying the confusing world of durable medical equipment and assistive devices, helping you make confident, informed decisions that are right for you or your loved one's unique needs. Each month, Tara and I will dive into a specific type of equipment, from walkers and wheelchairs to hospital beds, lifts, and more, and break down what you need to know to get the right equipment right now. Here's something more important we want you to know. Even doctors and discharge planners often don't fully understand which product is the best fit. There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all when it comes to durable medical equipment. The right device has to match the individual's condition, environment, and lifestyle. And that's exactly what we're here to help with. So if you have questions about any type of DME or assistive advice, visit Caregiver Relief and head to our Ask the Expert section. Tara is here to support you directly. And if there's a specific product you'd like us to cover in a future episode, hey, please let us know. We want to hear from you, because the more informed you are, the better care you provide. Now, let's jump into today's episode, Walkers 101, where we'll explore the different types of walkers, how to choose the right one, and how to avoid common and sometimes dangerous mistakes. So let's get started. Tara, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited about this. I have a passion, I know that sounds crazy, but as a rehab nurse, about my family members getting durable medical equipment right.
Yes. Oh my gosh. What a great introduction. Just let me say, Miss Diane. So yes, I am totally excited. You're talking about a passion. I love this because just trying to share information with people. And I love it because we're going to be diving into like individual topics, right? So
yes,
walkers is a great thing. And I love talking about walkers because a lot of times people think that when you talk about a walker, that there's just like one, this basic one that you see with the front wheels and those little tips at the back, right? And then, of course, we see all these rollator walkers. So I am excited to jump in to talk about the different walkers, different types, and what you should look for when you're making a choice to purchase one for yourself or your loved one.
I'd like to start first with explaining to our listeners what is durable medical equipment, also known as DME, and how it differs from general medical supplies or even assistive devices.
Right. When you talk about durable medical equipment, it's more talking about durability, right? So durable medical and its equipment. So in that, it's being durable. So what does that mean? So you're not going to, when you talk about durable medical equipment, you're not just getting a regular supply, right? So
Yeah.
you have things like medical supplies. You mean your bandages, your soft good products, things that's disposable and things like that. But when it comes to DME, it's durable medical equipment. It's going to be durable for you, for safety,
Yes.
and things of that nature. And so that's the difference when you talk about durable medical equipment versus saying, oh, can I get some medical supplies? So it's almost the same, but
Uh-huh.
medical supplies, I look more of a disposable type thing. You know, your briefs, your
Gotcha.
incontinent, you're right, your
Yeah.
products that you can just disposable, wound bandages, things like that, right? Or your wrist braces, back braces, things like that, medical supplies, right?
Yes.
But when you say durable medical equipment, a lot of people are like, what do we need durable medical equipment? Well, durable medical equipment, your wheelchairs, your walkers, your hospital beds, those are durable products that are not disposable and things that can be reused.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I want to jump into this. Why is it so important to personalize equipment rather than assume one size fits all, even with something as common as a walker?
Ooh, yeah. Because first of all, it's about the safety. You have some patients, depending on what's going on with them, what their mobility is. They may need a front wheel walker with wheels. They may need one that does not have wheels, which is called a pickup walker. And a lot of times that's based on if you have an OT, occupational therapist, or physical therapist who would evaluate the patient, right? And so then they can determine based on what's going on with the patient, what their gait is, and things like that would go into what choice you would make for that patient when it comes to them using a walker, which front wheel walker, you have your Hemi walkers, you have your rollator walkers. And so I think that what should happen is that you definitely should, if you don't go into a physical location or speak to someone over the phone that specializes in these products, that way you can get a clinical assessment done. And but I know people say, what is a clinical assessment? A clinical assessment is something when we start asking questions. So if you come to me and you say, hey, Tara, my mother's having some challenges with her walking. Maybe she having some hand strength issues going on. And I'm looking to purchase a walker for her. I'm going to start asking you questions. Okay. What is your mom? Is this only used inside the home? Are you going outside the home on a regular? Because that would determine if I'm going to offer you, I'm going to suggest a basic walker for you, a front wheel walker, which is a rollator, or one that has maybe larger wheels, depending on what you're doing. If you're going outside during the day more or walking, right? Because the larger the wheels, the better, the longer the walker will last for you, things like that. And it's good to just be able to have that clinical assessment done before you make that choice so that and make sure that your loved one is going to be safe when they're using it in case they have some cognitive issues going on, some hand strength issues going on, and just all around, just getting a clinical assessment is key. That's what I would suggest.
I love that. I love that answer. Now, what are the most common mistakes people make when selecting or purchasing DME for the first time?
Okay, I'll tell you, depending on again, what's going on with the patient, right? So I'll give you an example. If you have a patient who you go and you purchase we'll say a rollator, because I love to use this example. You purchase a rollator for your loved one and their memory is not, they're good, but they may have some challenges in remembering to put the brakes on or off. We always say anytime you sit down or you get up, make sure that the brakes are on. If you have a loved one that they're okay and everything, but they may have some challenges with their memory. And now here they are, they don't put those brakes on. And what's going to happen? They're going to roll and
Yep.
fall. And now you got to fall and you may have a possible hip break. Now you're talking about fracturing bones and things of that nature, right? Now, had you went to a physical place, or called a place that specializes in these products, then you would have been hopefully they would have asked you questions before selling you a walker. So that means they would have been able to give you suggest a walker that does the same thing because you are trying to get something for your loved one to be able to sit on, to push, and when they're tired, they can sit down. Now, then there's a different suggestion because at that point, when they do the clinical assessment with you, then if your loved one does have challenges in remembering to put the brakes on, then you're going to suggest something that does the same thing, but it doesn't have brakes. It doesn't have hand brakes. It brakes itself based on pushing it Okay. And so but it does have the basket and it has the seat. And so you wouldn't know that unless someone start asking you those questions.
Yes.
Yeah. So now when you get ready to go and purchase something like that, you are equipped to have those questions that you can ask them now. So if you're going to call me, it would be great to say, hey, you know what? I know what I'm looking for already. My loved one is having some challenges with their strength. They're not able, or their strength or their hands, or they don't remember to put the brakes on. And I'm looking for that particular walker with a seat, but it doesn't have handbrakes, but their body movement can actually brake when they sit down. They don't have to remember.
Oh, see, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So, and the next question I have is, questions should a caregiver or patient ask their doctor when they receive a prescription for DME?
Okay. Now, that's an interesting one. Say that because so you have a doctor and he's writing a prescription for some equipment.
Yes.
It will all go back to the walker. So you have a patient that may be having some memory issues, or they may have some strength issues putting brakes on. The doctor writes a prescription for a rollator. Or the rollator for the brakes, right? The handbrakes. And you as a family member or caregiver or family member, you're looking at this, but you don't know to ask him that question. Yeah. Well, you know, my mom is having, or Miss is having these challenges with her memory somewhat. So they're having some memory issues, or maybe having some strength issues, right? So at that point, you would be prepared to ask him, so are you sure that this particular walker is going to be conducive for my loved one or for Miss Jones? Based on that.
That's going to lead me to my next question. I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask you for our listeners, our listeners. Do doctors always understand which specific equipment is best for their patient, or should families seek a DME consultation to ensure the right fit?
Doctors do a wonderful job in what they do, but I don't expect them to know DME like we do. Why
exactly?
Is that? Because they are privy to, of course, depending on what their experiences have been as far as dealing with durable medical equipment companies, or visiting one, or talking to someone who advised them on all these different items, then they wouldn't know. And I wouldn't expect them to know, because most people only are familiar with a front wheel walker, a rollator, and things like that, crutches, basic wheelchairs and things of that nature. The doctor is probably not even thinking a rollator. Some of them probably don't even know what a rollator is.
That's a good point. And I want my listeners to know Medicare only pays for a 15-minute visit. And doctors are in and out. And in that 15 minutes, they've got to assess you, diagnose you, and prescribe a treatment. So I'm finding, and you would know this better than me, they may just write a walker.
And that is so true. And that's the thing too. Or they'll write, sometimes it's the families who may see something online, or they see a loved one or a neighbor with a walker, a front wheel walker, and they'll tell the doctor, hey, I think my mom needs a walker. I think my mom needs that thing that you sit on. It's the thing that you push and sit on. And so he'll just say, oh, you know what that is, right? So he'll write a prescription for a rollator in a seat, right? A rollator or a walker with seat, or a walker with brakes. Now, it's not something that he really probably even thought to subscribe for them, because the family is usually the one that sees what's going on with their loved one. And they're going to tell him like, hey, doctor, can I get that thing, that rollator, that walker with the seat, that thing that you push with the seat? And a lot of times we get that too, because when I talk to the patient, they'll say, oh yeah, I told my doctor that my mom needed this walker. And I'm like, okay, and then that's when I start asking questions. Because at that point, I'm like, okay, let's try to make sure. And then sometimes we may have to go back to the doctor and say, okay, doctor, I see that you wrote for this walker with the seat or handbrakes or whatever, if they put handbrakes on there. And then we may say, what do you think about one that doesn't have the brakes, but it does have the seat on it? Now, the insurance doesn't pay for the ones because those cost more. The ones that have the push down where they don't have to put the brake on it, kind of when you sit down, it brakes itself. They don't pay for those because those cost a little bit more. However, some providers will do what's called an upgrade charge, where a family can pay the difference. Right. So it just depends on who the provider is and all that type of stuff. So you have to talk to your provider, your particular DME company in your local area about that. But yeah, those are the different things. And so, yeah, we don't expect them to know because they don't. It even goes down to some of the beds we talked about on a discussion we had before about some of the basic hospital beds and how some of them are not high enough for caregivers. They don't know about rotation beds. They don't know that there's retractor beds out there or that goes 9 inches to the ground. Some of them don't. That's not what they do. And that's why I think it's so important for families to listen to your caregiver relief and to get all this great information to understand that when you do talk to your doctor and on the caregiver, you are prepared and understand what you're asking the doctor.
Yeah, because what the doctor may prescribe versus what somebody may actually need in the room at home can be so different.
Exactly.
And families don't know that. That's why we're doing this series to help them understand that.
Yes, so true. So true.
So Tara, families choose, I see this all the time. They choose the cheapest option when buying equipment. Can you tell me why this is a costly mistake in the long run?
Oh, wow. Because it's quality.
Yep.
We know that medical equipment, it's durable. So we talk about durability, you want something that's going to last. And the number one thing is safety. We've known for people to go online and order these. They think, oh, I'm going to get me a rollator or a walker, and they get one and it's not stable. It's maybe shaky. It may be things of that nature, or it only lasts for maybe a couple of months because now the brakes are no longer working on it. Because people think when you pay this, you see something for $80 and you get it, it's not always the best thing. I'm sorry, it's just not. Versus you getting something, a better brand, what we call premium brands, where the warranty is going to be there for you. Not only that, the quality is amazing. It's going to last. I've had clients that tell me they purchased, I won't name the company, but they purchased this premium particular brand of walkers, and literally they are still using it maybe 5 or 6 years later.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what else I'm going to bring up is I can't tell you, like I'm out and about in the community and I see people with walkers. I'm short and so I'm 5'2", and I see people that are my height that are little old ladies that are short that are their walkers up to their shoulders and they're not fitted for the right walker. Or one of my clients was a 6-foot woman. The walker they gave her, she was hunched over. It was awful. And it's not the right thing either. And families don't understand that causes pain. It can be conducive to falling. There's so many issues, and it can cause other issues. I know I have a bad shoulder, and if I had to walk around with my arms up on the walker trying to push it along, I would be in severe pain.
Yes, you would. And it goes back again, talking to someone who specializes in these products, who knows what questions to ask you, because we want to know your height, your weight. There's measurements what we do with the broken wrist, with the handles to make sure that you're just fitted properly. And if you don't have somewhere like local, at least if you're talking to someone who specializes in these products and give you a clinical assessment, you can help the family navigate to make sure that they're getting appropriate size for the loved one or yourself if you're the patient. Right. And we see that too. And one of the things that really pain me is when I'm out and about and I see someone walking with a walker, and like you talk about, they're hunched over, is because they weren't measured or someone didn't tell them how to set it properly.
Exactly.
It's crazy. And so I know this is not a topic that people really even think about sometimes until you need these products or you have something that you have to give for your loved one. But being able to know and understand what you're purchasing is so key. It's so critical. It's critical for safety.
Yes.
And making sure, because the goal is, I like to tell people, when you get these products, the goal is for you for better quality of life, right? If you're getting something that's cheap and that's going to break down on you, you have to be safety. If it breaks, you fractures, or the brake just automatically stop working, it doesn't grip anymore, all these different things, then you have wasted your time. You have put yourself or your loved one in danger because the product may not be good, and the good quality.
Exactly.
They could fall. There's all these different variables that goes into it. And it's a waste. And now you got to go purchase something else.
Yeah.
And then if they fall on it, now you have an injury now. So now you got to go to the hospital. It's an acute. I tell people, my brother-in-law would say, pay what it weigh. Pay what it weigh. And not only that too, let me say this too, Diane, because I think this is one of the things that people like, oh, those things are so expensive. But these products are engineered.
Yes.
You talk about quality products and premium products. A lot of these products are engineered. What does that mean? They are engineered. That means that these people the manufacturers have put time into, they've had to do research because you got to make sure that the weight is appropriate for the user, safety. Sometimes I've known companies that it's 10 years in the making on some of these products.
Yep.
And you actually have 10 years for you to put a product out? Yes, because there's a lot that goes into it. So when you see these products and you're thinking like, oh my God, that's products, those are expensive. So I'll give you an example. We have a bed that we specialize in beds, in customized chairs too. We love this chairs called Broda and your mid-misers and all these beds and these customized type of products. And one of the things is that they're not cheap, but they have been life-changing for the quality of life for people, comfort for your loved one or yourself. It has just been life-changing because of what it's done and what they've created it to do. Now, are they expensive? They are expensive. They're not cheap, but you can't put a price on comfort. You just can't do it.
You can't put a price on safety.
And safety and peace of mind for your loved one. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Diane.
No, I was just going to say, seniors don't realize and caregivers don't realize that falls are the number one cause of loss of independence for seniors. Yes. It can keep them from ever returning home.
Yes. Yes.
So when you're getting a product, you're doing it for many reasons. And one is fall prevention.
Oh my gosh, that's number one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That fall prevention is key because once you fall, it creates so many different other things.
Yes.
I hate when I hear a family say, oh, my loved one has fallen so many times. Why?
Yes.
What were they using? Oh, I got this little thing offline. Why? Yeah. Call somebody who specializes in these products where you can get a clinical assessment. People can go over with you what is good and what is not good, right? Just, you have to take that time to do that. People are so rushed. I think life is just lifing for so many people that we just go on to whatever the most convenient thing is. We just go on and get it online and we don't care. We like, oh, this is a walker. My mom needs a walker. Let me just grab this walker. And it gets delivered to our front door.
Yeah.
We have no idea if it's going to really work for them or not. We don't know if it's fitted properly. We don't know if use it, if he's going to fall on it. We don't know if we've been told how to measure it properly. And none of this stuff because you went it alone and you don't have to.
Tara, you also talk about thinking about future needs, and that's especially for progressive conditions like Parkinson's or dementia. So what should families consider when thinking about those future needs when they're looking at a walker?
I'll give you an example. For the walkers, walkers is kind of, I wouldn't really use that one to like future proofing. What I'd like to do, future proofing would be more like your wheelchairs, the type of wheelchair the type of transport chair you may purchase. Thinking about getting a transport chair or a wheelchair for your loved one, you want to make sure that because depending on the condition and the diagnosis of what the patient has, we're always hoping for people to get better. The goal is to use these products to get to better independence, better quality of life, and hopefully you get better that you don't have to use it anymore. Yep. But in the event that does not happen, before you go and spend money on just a regular chair, things that offer you transport, like removable arms, flip back arms. If you're going to get a commode, you can get a stationary commode, depending on if you just had surgery and this is just a short-term thing or what have you, then a stationary with fixed arm commode is fine. If you need to sit it beside your bed, put it over your toilet, whatever you need to do. But if this is a possible long-term condition that can progress on, when you go and purchase a 3-in-1 commode, you want to get one with the arms that drop, the drop arms, right? Or the ones that go up. So that way, when you have to lift your loved one, You don't have to lift them up so much. You can actually transfer them because those arms remove. Same thing with a chair, a wheelchair. Look for one with the removable arms or flip back arms. A transport chair, removable arms or flip back arms. Those are the type of things that you want to make sure that you look for. If you go and you purchase a bed, it's one of the things that we talk about a lot too, because we do specialize in hospital, not just hospital beds, but beds, clinical type beds though. And so we see families, they go and they go online and they purchase these, like what they call the beds that you see that they advertise a lot. The head goes up, the feet goes up.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember what they're called, but I know the electric beds.
Yeah. And so they're great. They're wonderful. They're more of your economical basic beds that a lot of people purchase now.
Yes.
But unfortunately, if you have a loved one, that is not a good bed for them. Because eventually, if they have certain type, now, right now, you may get it for them. You're like, oh, yeah, because mom can raise her head or whatever, raise her feet. But what happens, depending on the condition or the diagnosis, she may progress. Now, you've purchased that $7,000 bed, but now you need rails. You can add rails to that bed. But if you spoke to someone who specializes in beds, we could have gotten you the same type of bed that you purchased with the head going up, the feet going up, and some of them have the massages too, but you will be able to add rails in the future. That bed is more clinical. Yes, it looks like a regular bed you would sleep in, but it has clinical. Actually, we have one that literally, it looks like a bed you would sleep at home right now. But if you ever need it, it goes 42 inches high. That's
wow,
amazing, because and no one would even know that. You wouldn't even know that. And then you can add rails to it. Future. So we call that.
And that's good for when you're taking care of a person with a chronic illness that is declining, for the caregiver, for their back.
Exactly, for their back. Yeah. Now, for me, what we do is, now that particular bed I'm speaking about, it would be more if someone just had maybe some minor type of clinical needs. We'll say maybe a lower back problem, some knee issues going on, and they may not want to get surgery, but they just need to get assistance to help them get out the bed in the morning. Mm-hmm. That type of bed would be conducive to that. Now, if you have a loved one that has some type of diagnosis like Parkinson's, depending on what that MLS, things of that nature, then I wouldn't recommend that particular bed, what they call the home style bed. I wouldn't recommend it, even if it does have the clinical features. And reason for that is because it's not really intended specifically for that. That's where we would recommend something totally different, where it still looks home type bed, but it has a more premium and more upgraded type of features that is really conducive to your condition and for the caregiver.
Tara, what are some key features that might be worth paying extra upfront for to ensure safety, durability, and comfort?
Beds that have rails that you can add later. I would pay for that up front, because you don't have to use them. You could just put them away. You don't have to get them added on there. So I would do that. A bed that goes high enough, have the feature that goes high enough that if you do need a caregiver later on, that bed is high enough that your caregiver won't feel like they're bending over so much that they're going to have a back injury. So that is something that I would definitely spend money on. Going back to the chairs where the arms remove, things of that nature. Instead of, you may see one, it may be $200, but the arms don't flip back, right? But that loved one, depending on what's going on with them, you might as well go ahead and maybe put another $50 or $100 with that and get one where the arms remove. Then we talk about some of the more customized type chairs, where some wheelchairs are not designed. I know I'm going to say something people are going to probably disagree, but to me, a wheelchair is for you to take a patient from one place to another. I'm talking about the basic wheelchairs.
Yes.
To me, those wheelchairs are not conducive for a person to be sitting in all day long. I'm sorry.
I'm in agreement.
They are not. So when you go into these facilities, and patients in a wheelchair, and they've been in there for hours, in a regular wheelchair or a reclining wheelchair, which is your regular reclining wheelchairs, and they got some seat cushions in them and all that stuff. Man, you're talking about painful. Just think about that. I want you to just think about sitting in a chair, because I don't even want to sit in the regular chair all day. I sit in my bed.
I can't. My
And
years of nursing, I have a bad back, I have chronic
oh,
pain, and when I see people sitting in some of these wheelchairs, it just
oh,
breaks my heart because I know they have to be hurting.
yes. And oh my God, like I sit at my desk and literally I don't sit when I sit at my desk or at home, I sit on a seat cushion and I also have a lumbar that protected my back behind me. And that's even if
Yes.
I just refuse to sit in anything any longer that does not have support to it. And because one reason I had sciatic and it was very painful and it's still there. I have that sciatic where you say, if you move a certain way, I'm right here.
Yep.
So it is very painful, but I say that because there are so many other chairs out here that is so conducive to a patient who's going to be sitting all day long. And I'm not talking about like these type rehab chairs. There's chairs, you have your Broda chairs, there are customized chairs made for that client. They can customize them to that, but depending on what's going, and it's based on diagnoses too, depending on their diagnoses, it's a certain one that's recommended. They're not cheap, but they are so comfortable. They are so comfortable for patients who's sitting all day that you can even sleep in them. You can literally, yeah, they recline back. They have a tilt and recline and they're customized where the patient is not sitting vertical, sitting straight up all day long because they tilt you, which means that it's taking that pressure off of the hip bones. Yeah.
I've used those with quadriplegics in the past, and they've just made a huge difference. Tara, what role does proper sizing and adjustment play in the effectiveness and safety of durable medical equipment? And what can happen if it's not done correctly? This makes me crazy because of, like we were talking about before, with the too tall or too short walk.
Right. The same thing. You have a patient if you haven't, because these products, you want to make sure that it's going to be fitted for the right person. So you may think like, why would you fit a walker? Why would you need to fit a rock? It goes back to what we were just talking about. A patient who's bent over, and it's because it wasn't fitted properly or no one told them how to fit it for them, right?
Yep.
Or you talk about a wheelchair someone's sitting in, you have this chair and the chair is so small and the patient is sitting in it, they have their hips are sore because they're sitting and been squeezed into a wheelchair that they shouldn't be in because it needs a little bit more width to it, right? You gave this patient an 18-inch chair and yes, they may be under 300 pounds because you have a chair that's 18 inches in width. It holds a capacity of 300 pounds where your loved one may be 200 pounds, which is under the weight capacity, but they may be have a wide girth when they sit, right?
Yep.
And what happens? So now they're squeezing that chair. So now they're sitting there a long periods of time and their hips are being squeezed. So what's going to happen? Eventually someone's going to start getting some sores. Those hips,
Yes.
the tailbone and the hips and all that stuff. So it's okay. So why is measurement important? Why do we say when you sit down, measure your loved one's hips? What size do they need? 18 or 22 or 20 or 22? People are like, oh, why are you asking me about that? Because we want to make sure when your loved one sits down that they're not squeezed. We want to make sure they're comfortable. And then if they're gonna have a seat cushion in it, yeah, because then that's taking up space also. So you want to make sure you get one that they're going to be comfortable in. If they just have to be in a chair, you want to make it as comfortable as possible and not pillows. Please stop using pillows. Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Thank you. Yes, people don't understand that it's not good to do.
Redistribution is real. When you see something that says redistribution, it says that for a reason. And pillows don't redistribute.
Exactly.
Seat cushion does, depending on and again, that too. You want to make sure. I know we're on walkers today. I got to go back. I got to stay with walkers. Sorry, getting off topic. I guess I get excited about this stuff because I just want.
Well, I do too. And you know what? They all people that have walkers eventually are already using a wheelchair in some fashion. So it's hard to keep them separate. But
yes, it is.
Tara, what are the red flags to watch out for when purchasing DME online or from big box stores? What tips can you give our listeners?
I tell you what, I talk about this a lot. I say, when purchasing something, if you find a company that's selling everything, but they don't focus on anything, then you may want to, not saying that they are not good, but you may want to look at like, how long will this product last for me? If you get a product from a company that specializes in this particular thing. Oh, this is what they do. They focus on walkers. They focus on transfer chairs. If you get a company, you know what that type of company, and I won't name them, but if you go and you see this company doesn't sell everything, but they sell specific things. Those are the companies that I normally, those are the, I focus on. So if I'm going to sell you something, now, if you can't afford it, that's a different story, right? That's totally different because some of these products, they are not cheap. However, if you're going to purchase, that's a tip I would say. You see a company and they're just selling everything, then you got to wonder, what do you specialize in?
I'll tell you from the big box stores, from my own personal experience with 50 years of nursing, that you go into the big box store, nobody's there to provide customer service. Nobody's there, and you're never going to get good customer service. It doesn't exist in the big box stores anymore. I'm sorry. And when you bring stuff back, it's a hassle, and they don't provide the quality customer service that you do in the small as a small community, a small business owner in your community.
Right. I think too, Diane, honestly, with the big box stores, it's not what they do.
Yes.
So if you go into a big box store and you purchase a rollator in a box or a walker or whatever those things, whatever you decide to purchase when you're inside, you can't really expect for the salesperson walking around to know what to tell you about this walker, because that's not what they do. They're they're just there to sell a product, right? They're just selling. And not to go back to some businesses online where they don't have a brick and mortar, but they sell the product, right? Yeah. They specialize in these things. They're just selling a product. They just got an account and they're selling a product. And I wouldn't expect for them to know. It's on to you as the consumer to do your research. Honestly.
Exactly.
And know that, okay, now what is this? Now, first of all, and not only that too, I'll say this, support your local durable medical equipment companies.
I agree.
Please support them. And I tell you why, because not only that, when you have if it's you or a loved one and you're building a relationship too. Not only you're supporting the local store in your community so you could see them and they're going to stay there because they need your support, but you want to be able to have someone that when something goes on with your loved one, that you can give them a call and say, oh my God, like this is going on. Now I need this. Because today you may have got a walker from them, but now next week or next month, you may need a commode. You may need a raised toilet seat. You may need and there's so many different variables. You may need a certain type of shower chair. Now you have someone you can go to and ask these questions to. You're not going to just be, oh, let me figure this out. Let me go online and just try to figure this out on my own. No, they're going to be able to talk to you. I have clients now that have my number. I get texts all the time. Oh, Tara, oh my God, I slipped and fell and hurt my ankle. They were using something for their loved one, but now they hurt themselves. So they texted me like, oh my God, I need a knee walker. I need a knee scooter. What do you suggest? Oh, I need, so what do you think? They have my personal number. So now they have a personal, it's just like you go to get your car done. You build a relationship with the car dealership.
Yep.
So if your car goes on flat or you need a tow, what you going to do? You're going to call your sales rep and say, hey, John, I need to bring my car. My car is being towed over there. You got it? You see what I'm saying? So you're building those relationships with it's like a doctor's office. Same thing with your doctor's office. Call your doctor's office. You need this to be done. So now you have a relationship with your doctor's office. The DME world is the same exact thing. You build in a relationship with that local community. It's like a pharmacy.
Yep.
You have a pharmacy, you go get your prescriptions. You got a relationship with Sue over at CBS or Rite Aid or whatever. Same thing. The same thing for the DME. I got people, hey, they know me by name. I know them by name. Oh, that's Miss So-and-so. Oh, make sure she's good. Make sure she's taking care. You need anything, Miss Sue, call me. All those is important because now you have a relationship. Now you don't have to go it alone. You don't feel like because none of us know when we're going to need this stuff. Let's just be honest.
Exactly.
And it's good to have someone in your local community that you can call and talk to and just brainstorm with.
And it's better than a doctor because doctors don't do that anymore.
No, but hey.
And you know what? They're not capable. It's just they aren't. medical delivery system is broken so bad and they don't have time. They really don't get it's. I'm going to say this, you can't say it, but I will. The government policymakers are our doctors now. The doctor-patient relationship is no longer intact like it used to be. They try, the older doctors try, but it's just not possible. So, Tara, I want to talk about when a device is in the home. They get the device. What kind of training or setup should caregivers expect, and how important is follow-up?
Woo, I tell you what, if you purchase it online, you just get the box and you just put it together yourself.
Yeah.
Now, that could be risky because if you don't, it's like anything else you order online, right? You get it, you unbox it, and you try to put it together. So hopefully the caregiver or yourself is putting the product together properly so that when your loved one or yourself use it, that it doesn't break or fall apart and things of that nature. So that's the first thing. And so that's a tip I would give them. And that's what goes back again to why you should talk to someone in your local DME company that can tell you how to go about doing it. When you receive it in the box, or you get the box at the door, that person that you ordered it from can also help walk you through how to put it together. You can't do that when you order online blind. You can't do that. But for us, you can. When you get that box or you get it delivered to you, what have you, you're going to call me. Call me and I'm going to walk you through. We FaceTime our clients. We get on a Zoom with our clients and we say, okay, this is how you put that together. Or if you get the box and you don't understand it or you're frustrated, whatever, call us. And we walk them through how to do it. And then after that, you can have it for 30 days. And sometimes if you don't use something all the time, depending on what it is, you need a refresher course. What's going to happen? You're going to give us a call and what we're going to do. Hi, Miss Diane. Okay, let's go walk through this again. Okay. If you need anything, give me a call, Miss Diane. You're not going to get that when you order from online from people that don't do this, is what I'm saying. Like this is not
when somebody answers the phone on that end, it could be somewhere in India, a call center in the world.
And the thing of it is that someone's just reading a script for you, right?
Yes.
We're not reading a script. We are hands-on. This is what we do. We love what we do. We've been doing it a long time. We don't know everything. We don't proclaim to know everything, but we know enough to keep you safe.
Yes.
We know enough to make the right, proper recommendations. And it's so interesting too, because we see so many different scenarios, Diane.
Yes.
We see so many, we get people who may use this and it may work, it may not work. Let's try to figure this out. Yeah. And then we navigate, we pivot, we move from here, we move from there, right? You don't get that. I'll go back to even down to incontinence. Oh, I'm getting off topic. Let me go back to walkers.
We'll be dealing with that in the future.
We'll deal with that on the next episode. Oh my God. Keep me on track, Diane. Because I get on the tangent here and I be like, oh my God, it's so much to share because I just want people to be good.
Yes.
We get so many people and it's so heartbreaking. I'll tell you something, I'm going to say this out loud. I had a guy the other day come in and do you know this poor man, I felt so bad for him. He had called 10 different places. We get this a lot. But every time I get this, I just be like, wow. He said he called 10 different places. He said, I called 10 different places and no one either wanted to help me. They were either rude. They didn't ask me no questions. I asked them if they had a particular product. They just said no, hung up the phone. And he said, I just want to thank you for being receptive to just even hear me out. And I'm like,
and you know what? That's the biggest complaint I hear from my listeners, my clients. Often there's nobody there to help them. And that contributes to the stress and frustration of the family caregiver trying to make sure that their family member's safe.
Yes.
It's really an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what, Diane, and that too, when we talk about, I know we talk about buying online and stuff, but sometimes if you feel like you're calling around and you're not getting anything, and that's another thing I want to say to providers out there, be kind. When caregivers or patients call you, they're not calling you because they're just trying to buy a t-shirt. They're calling you because they need help.
Yes.
People come to us. I know they're not who wants to be, no one is coming to me because they want to be using a walker.
Exactly.
So they're coming to us because they need help. And if you're not going to help people, get out the business or get someone who cares enough about people that want to help people.
100%.
Oh my God. I wanted to say that because it is so heartbreaking when I get people like this gentleman. How many times do you have to call a place and no one wants to help you?
Yeah. And like I said, I've heard that a lot. I have personally experienced that when I'm doing research on products for clients, and it just makes me nuts because
Yeah.
it shouldn't be that way.
It should not. It should.
No.
But what it does, it takes you back to why people probably do order online.
Yes.
If you're calling around trying to find someone to help you and no one wants to help you, and what do? You just jump online and order something because you already know that people are going to be rude when you call them.
Well, we're offering them a different solution.
You are.
That's why we're doing this, Tara.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
why we're doing this right now.
Exactly. We care and we want you to be good.
Yes.
Want you to be good.
Tara, what are your 3 top safety tips for using durable medical equipment at home, especially for first-time caregivers or seniors living alone?
Okay. First of all, make sure that based on what's going on with your loved one or your patient, that you're going to be talking to someone who can help you to make sure that they get the right product. That's the first tip in home. Okay. So second tip, I would make sure that when you are in need, an example, if you're using a walker, you want to make sure that you don't have anything that's in the floor. You want to make sure that you check the home for rugs and things of that nature. If you have a loved one that's using a walker, you want to make sure that it can fit through doorways. So that's another tip too. I would say to people, if you're going to be getting a walker, you want to make sure again to talk to someone because you may get a walker and you're ordering it. You don't even know if it's going to fit through your doorways. So you got to have the loved one got to be able to navigate through the home. And you only know that if you talk to someone who can give you a clinical assessment to make sure that you're going to get the appropriate size, make sure telling you how to measure your doorways, how to measure all those type of things. So that's tip 2. And just staying safe and just making sure that your loved one knows how to use the equipment. Again, it goes back to speaking to someone that you can call afterwards to say, you know what, we may need a little bit more training, or going to your local store provider, DME company, that they can show you how to properly use the equipment inside the home. Making sure that depending on also, if you're a person who's just using the walker inside the home, you may have one suggestion. But if you're a person who you were getting out, you're still able to walk out there and get your walks on the beach or in a park, you want to have a certain type of walker. Why is that? Because depending on the type of walker you get, depending on what you're doing with the walker, and those are the questions we ask. What are you doing every day, Ms. Jones? We can recommend a certain walker based on your activities. And why is that? Because it can last longer for you.
Sarah, how do people find you? Other than you're going to be able to get you through our Ask the Experts. But if they personally wanted to talk to you, what's your website, your company name, and your telephone number?
Okay. Our company is CFS Medical Supplies and Equipment. And that would be www.cfsmedicalequipment.com. And you can also reach us on the solution side, which is www.cfssolutionsdbs.com. And our phone number is 310-817-5373. And I have to tell you now, we get a lot of calls, and we do have a service that goes through, and sometimes you can't always get to me. However, if you come through your caregiver relief and you send a message or something and you want to be able to get an answer, I definitely can get those answered for you. And sometimes people can't get a hold of me because I am really busy.
That's a blessing. That's a
blessing. I'll say that, but you will get your answer. And then you can also book a call with me if you need to do something like that. You can do a consultation, and you can get information too. And not only that we do that, we also help people with insurance and navigating insurance, understanding what's covered, what you may be able to get covered, what you can't get covered. And it goes back to, if you go to www.cfssolutionsdbs, we have a subscription where you can get all these modules that I've created that literally walks you through what to ask the doctor, what to ask the insurance company, how can you like how to navigate the system. And it's a video about all of that on there. It kind of shows you links to different things. And then also there's categories also on there, Diane, that an example, we show you all these different walkers or bathroom items in different sections where we're telling you what's good, what to look for, and all those type of things. So you can get that also on the solution, on the subscription.
And that information's priceless, especially in today's world.
Oh my gosh, it's priceless. It'll help you. It'll save you time, money, and stress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kara, thank you so much for your time. I'm really enjoying this series. It's the first one, and we have
Yes.
2 more. To my family caregivers out there, remember, you are the most important part of the caregiving equation. Without you, it all falls apart. So please learn to be gentle with yourself. Practice self-care every day because you are worth it.